Alright, in this video we are going to work on setting up confirmation emails for registered users. So that way when a user registers, they have to confirm their email address before they can use the app. You can also set it to where they have like 10 days to register to confirm their email or something like that. For our purposes, we're simply going to require that they confirm their email address before they become an active user. I am going to be referring to some notes. I already have a project built that utilizes this that I'm going to be referencing for you. All the code is going to be stored in GitHub, so you can simply follow the link below in the description, and you'll get the code for that, and you can just kind of copy and paste things in. But we're going to get started here. I'm going to get the React Native app running. Actually, I don't believe we'll need it at the moment. Let's just get Python running on server, and then we are going to use Postman for this. Now, I currently have a couple of users created in my database, and so I'm going to go in here. This is DB browser for SQLite because we're using a SQLite database to get started. And I'm going to delete both records so I don't have any users existed right now. And we are going to work on, so it's all going to fall under the create user. So when a user is created, it's going to automatically send that email out to the user. So let's open views.py. One thing to note is we're going to need to sign up for an API. It does have a free tier, so no worries there. I already have an account, I believe. So let's go to SendGrid. I actually might let's set up an account. I'm going to use, .com. And I'm going to take this over here for a second. Okay, SendGrid is having a problem today. Let's go to mine. We're going to log in. Okay, so I'm just going to log in to my account. Go ahead and set your account up. They do have a free tier. And let me get this going. Should have already had this logged in. My apologies. And you'll see that mine's already used once in a while, so you can see I'm already sending out emails and such. Okay, so first thing you've got to do is go under sender authentication and set up some senders. I've already got a few senders in here set up. I'm going to be using my tim@poyadev.com sender for this example. And then I'm going to come over here really quick and make sure I don't show any of my API keys. Okay. Cool. So you can see I've got a couple API keys. The secrets are hidden. We're going to create another one for this video, and it's going to be obviously restricted. And it's going to be YouTube vids. Now, by the time you guys watch this video, this API key will be deleted. So you can try all you want to use it. It's not going to work. And email testing. Let's see. Inbound email. Let's see. Mail send. I want to allow, and that's about it actually. So let's see, create and view. Oh, please select the level of access. I already did. Maybe that's why. Create and view. Okay, so we are going to copy this. Once we copy this, they won't ever show it again. And for now, let's just put it up here in there so we have it. We can see it's there. We don't lose it. And then we're going to also need this key ID right there. So we're going to copy that and do the same thing. So this is our key ID. And then we have our API key secret. Okay. Then we are going to need to install SendGrid, and let me take a look here and make sure I have the package name correct. Yep, okay. So we're just going to do a pip3 install SendGrid. And okay, it's already installed, obviously because I'm on my local system. And so we're going to go ahead and run it, manager.py run server. So our first task is simply going to be sending out an email when a user signs up, period. That's all we're going to do right now, is get that email sent out when a user signs up. So Let me come up here. There we go. So we're going to import, so we got a couple of them. I'm going to copy and paste them over here. So we have import from SendGrid, import SendGrid API client, and then import mail as well. And then in our, this is our creating a user view. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to comment out all this except for the error notification. The reason why is because I don't want to have to keep deleting users as I'm testing this out. So I'm going to not actually create the user. We're just going to test out the sending out of emails. And so let's see here. Okay, so let's set up the code for sending the email. So we're going to set up a message equals mail. And we're going to add a few options in here. So the first one we're going to do is from email. And because I already have it set up within SendGrid, this is going to be tim@poyadev.com. And then the to email equals, so this is going to be request.data and then email. Oops, and I need commas in here. So comma, comma. And then we have the subject line, and let's see. Please confirm your email address. And then we have the message itself, which is going to be under HTML content. And for now, we're just going to do a super simple, this is a test email. And we just want to make sure that emails are being sent out correctly and that things are happening here. Okay, and then we're going to set up the actual sending of the message in a try statement, just in case there are any errors. So try, accept, print, error, and then in the try, we're going to set up the SendGrid API client. So SendGrid equals SendGrid API client, and then our API key. So we actually may not need the API key ID. We're just going to take our long API key right there. And let's maybe put this in quotes. Okay. And then we're going to do a response equals, oops, come on, sg.send message. Okay. And then we're going to print the response. And that's all we're going to do for now. We're going to save this, make sure there's no errors that pop up. And we're going to simply send a request to create or to send that email. So I created a new email address. It's tim.youtube.2@gmail.com. So that way I can show you guys the actual emails as well. So let's send that in. And it does look like it sent possibly. So let's open this up. And okay, we did get an email from Tim. Please confirm your email address. This is a test email. So there we go. We've got that. So now we can focus on the complex side of things, which is, we're actually really quick. Let's move this below the serializer. And we only want to send the email if the serializer is actually creates the user now. So let's do that. Okay. And then the response will get sent after the email is sent. Okay. So request.data. And then we're going to change, because we have user data set as request.data, no reason having multiple sections of code, duplicate code. And then we're going to type out the email a little bit more. And so we're going to say hi, and this is going to be user data dot, let's see, first name. And then let's see, let's do a couple breaks in there. This is like a new line basically. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and I forgot the end of the curly bracket. Okay. And we're going to put that on a new line. Put that in there. Okay. Thank you for signing up. To confirm your email address, please click, and we're going to do an href here. And then close the href. Because it's HTML, we can do this. And I actually think it's not href. My bad. Href equals. Okay. And let me take a look here. Yeah, okay. So typically I would just pull the domain, but for this case we're just going to hard code it. HTTP localhost 8000 /API /v1.0 / and this is going to be the user side of the API /token, and then we're going to put the token at the end of that. Okay. Now we don't have this API or this endlink set up yet, but we will set it up. And then let's see, right here we are going to set up the tokens. Token equals nothing at the moment, but it's going to use that. And then yeah, we just got to recall, we have to remember to set up that URL here soon. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and save that, just make sure everything comes out good, and it did not. Oh, I'm missing a, let's see. Oh, I got that bracket. Okay. Oh, I got that weird thing. Okay. So now, for the sake of creating the tokens, this is going to be a little bit more complicated. We're going to deal with salting and hashing. So don't stress out too much. Again, this code is in GitHub, so you may copy and paste it if you'd like. We're going to set up a salt. It's going to equal a UUID hex. Let's see, 4.hex. Come on. And then hash object equals hash lib. These are some libraries we're going to import here in a second. Hash lib, come on. Dot SHA-256, that's the encryption. Salt dot encode plus string, and we're going to do the user ID here. So we're going to do a user serializer dot data ID. Okay, and then let's see, ID dot encode. So we're going to convert that ID into a string, and then we're going to encode it, and that is going to be our token right there, or close to it. It's the hash object. Token equals hash object dot hex digest plus salt. Okay. So this is a little bit more work than it probably needs to be, as in we could probably send, we're already creating a token for that user, and we are storing it in the user object, and we could probably send that token in for this. However, in the case that this ends up in the wrong hands, I don't want that person getting access to the user's token, which would grant them all of the user data. And so I'm creating a separate token specifically for this item, or for this function, I guess. And then, so we're going to save that. And we're just going to try this. I'm going to go ahead and sign up with my YouTube account, and we're going to see if this comes through okay. So, same thing here. We're going to send that in, and it looks like there was an error. Let's take a look here. Oh, it's because we did not import those libraries, probably. Alright, so we're going to import UUID and import hash lib. I believe that's the only things that we need to import. Let's try this again. There's still an error. Okay, so now what we are going to do is accept exception as E, because it's probably being caught here. And so we're going to print out the error. And it is not saying what the problem is. Okay, so if user serializer dot is valid, so it does not appear the user serializer is valid. Else print user serializer dot errors. Oops, I believe this is the right statement for that. Okay, username, this field must be unique. Okay, so it is in the database at the moment, so we're going to go in here, refresh it. Well, there's nothing in there. Let's go ahead and just change the username though. So we'll just copy this over the username, send that in. It's working, it's working, it's working. Is it working actually though? Okay. Database is locked. Oh, whoops. Should probably write the changes. And then let's try this again. Okay, so it created the user. Let's open up that email account. And we have an email from me. Please confirm your email address. Thank you for signing up to confirm your email address. Oh, I misspelled address. Please click here. Now, if you notice, let's copy the link address and go here. And let's see where it redirects. Okay, API v1.0 user token. So you see how it created this big long token? Well, now we got to tell it what to do with that token. And really quick, I'm going to fix the spelling of address. Okay. Okay, so in our urls.py, we're going to create a new object here. It's going to be verify user. And then at the end of this, we're going to add in this little extra strpk. And that's going to tell this view to accept an additional variable. The variable is going to be a string under the name pk. And let's set this as user verification view. So we're going to create a new view, user verification view. And we're going to save that. And in user, let's see, we're going to minimize some of these. We're going to do a class, user verification view, API view. And this is going to be a GET request, because naturally when you click on a link in a browser, it automatically uses a GET request. So we're going to do a def GET, and it's going to be self request PK, and format equals none. So that token should come through under that PK value. And I just realized I put the URL in wrong because we have it set to go to token. Actually, I do want to change it though. I like verify user better. So we'll leave it at that, and then we're going to change the email address to verify user. Okay. So now when we click that link, we should get it to print out, let's see, verifying user, and then print out the PK, which should be the token. And we're going to clean out the database again and try this out. Delete, write. I'm going to send that in. Oh, something's happening. And it looks like, oh, got an extra quotation. Okay. User verification. Save that. I misspelled it. Okay. Send that in. Check our email. I might have just deleted it. Whoops. Okay, this is our newest one. So we're going to click here. And assertion error, expected a response. That's okay. So we didn't tell it to respond, but we should have, there we go, our token is right there. What we're going to do is we're simply going to look for the user object that has that token. And so let's see, we have user equals user.objects.filter, token equals pk, and then dot first. It's going to look for the first object with that, and then if user, then we need to set that user as active. And so let's take a look here. In our serializers, we actually need to add one item down in the fields, and that is going to be is active. I believe that's correct for Django. Let's take a look here in the database actually. So let's refresh this. Okay, so we have last login is super user, username last is active. Yep, and that's going to be a true or false. And so we're going to add that in there. And by default, up here, user data equals request.data. And we're going to also add user data is active equals false. So we're going to default the is active to false. And then if the user exists, we're going to set that as true. So how we do that is we're going to do user serializer equals user serializer data equals data, and I'll spell out the data here in a second. Actually, we can just do this. Is active, oh, it's got to be in quotes, is active true. And then we're going to do partial equals true. And then at the beginning of this, we're going to pass in that user object. So we're passing the user to user serializer, we're passing in the data, and then we're saying we're doing a partial update, so only update this data. And then if user serializer dot is valid, raise exception equals false. Oops. Then let me scroll down here. I'm gonna try to get this up there. Okay. Let's see if it's false. Then we are going to do user serializer dot save. That is valid, and then we're going to return the response complete. Actually, we can just ignore that altogether. We'll just do a status equals 200, and otherwise return response status equals 404. User does not exist. So if the user doesn't exist, we'll return not found, basically, and we will save that. So let's just double check this. So we're sending the token to the user when they sign up, and then let's see, we're getting the token in the PK. We're going to filter for users with that token, and then we're going to do a partial update on that user to set them as active, and then if that's valid, then we'll save the data and return. Now, one thing to note here is down in the user login view, we have set it where if the user is not active, then we're going to return, and we're not going to give them their data. So that user has to be active in order to view their data. So let's just save this. I'm going to save that. And in our models, we're going to create a new model here. And what it's going to look like is it's going to be a model that just simply ties the user to the token. So token, and it's models.model, and let's see here. So we're going to have user equals models.foreign key. Actually, yes. So we're going to do user, and then on delete equals models.cascade, and related name equals token. Actually, I might change the models.cascade. Let me take a look here. I'm going to leave that for now. We might change that later. And then we're going to do token equals models dot. Actually, is it models? Yeah. Char field with a max length of 256, and a blank equals true, and a null equals true. So super simple model here. Really quick, let's import the user model. So django.contrib.auth import user. we're going to save that. And I must have misspelled that. Contrib.auth. Oh, dot models. Okay. And I misspelled max length. Save that. And save that again. Come on. Okay, try that again. Okay, so now it works. We're going to migrate. So Python 3 manage.py make migrations for our user API. Python 3 manage.py migrate. And then we're going to run the server. Okay. And then in our views, we're going to import that model. So from .models import token. I believe that's, yep. Okay. So now when we create a user, we create this token. And so now we are going to create just that user object for that. And let's go ahead and throw a serializer in here. So class token serializer, serializers dot model, serializer, and class meta. Let's see. Let's check down here. So we've got model and fields. Model equals, is that right? Should be lowercase. Equals token, and fields equals, and it's going to be user and token. And then we got to import our token model. So from .models import token. Yep. Save that. Okay, user is not defined. Oh, that needs to be in quotes, and that needs to be in quotes. Save that, and save. Okay, so now we're going to create a new serializer. So token serializer equals token serializer with data equals user, and that's going to be the user ID. So serializer.data ID, and then token is going to be token. Okay, and then if token serializer dot is valid, raise exception equals true. Oops, deleted it. There we go. And then token serializer dot save. And actually, I want this to be false. And then only if it's valid do we send the email. So we're gonna indent all of this and indent that to there. Okay, oops. So what should be happening now is when we create the token to confirm an email address, we are going to store that token in a database. So we're going to tie the user to that token, and then we're going to send that token to the user. And when they click on that link, we are going to check for that object. So token object equals token.objects.filter, token equals pk. And then once we have that, user is going to be, let's see, so ID equals token object dot user dot ID, I believe. And let's just see if this works. So we got to import token, and then we got to import our token serializer. There we go. Save that. Make sure nothing's broken like crazy. And then let's go ahead and clean out the database if there's anything in here. I can't recall if I already did. Okay. So we'll delete that record. Open up our email. So we'll close that out. Delete the email. Go into Postman, and we're going to resubmit our create request. Okay, there is an error. This field must be, oh, I see. I forgot to write the change. So let's try that again. Fields option must be a list or tuple. Oh, let's see. Go to Atom, and in the serializer, this should be a tuple, not a dictionary. Save that. And send. Let's see. Oh, it already created that user though, so we gotta redelete that user. Right change. And try again. Third time's the charm. Alright, so we should get an email momentarily with a link to click on. And possibly, maybe. There we go. Click on the link. And it looks like user verification. And we got a response 200 OK. So now, if we go to log in with that user, we should be able to log in with that user. And we are. Okay. And if we go to our database, we'll refresh it. And we'll see that is active is a 1, which is true. Now, if we go back and we look at user API token and browse that, we can see in here we have the user ID and we have the token. And so it's all tied together. So that's how you do a confirmation email. We had to change a few things back and forth. My apologies. But it is working. Again, this will be on GitHub, so you can click the link in the description below. Again, this API key for SendGrid will be deleted before this video is created, so it's not worth trying. And if you got anything out of this video, please like and subscribe, comment below, follow me, and I'll be putting out some more videos in the next couple of days.